Hello there, my name is Linda, also known as Tortajala around the internet. I love creative journaling and all things stationery, and today I want to share with you my mini Filofax Finsbury. I'm currently using it sort of like an EDC, and so I just wanted to share a little bit of a closer look as I try to figure out what will work with me. I basically fell down the rabbit hole of the 5 ring planners because they're so small and compact. And I did try to use like a Moterm, but I thought it was just really chunky. So I got this Filofax Finsbury Mini because it does seem more compact. The planner itself is quite rigid. It has like a zip pocket in the back for coins. I can put my cards up in the front left side, and then it has the 5 ring agenda, planner. So I have a repositionable sticky paper here to put stickers, and I just put some stickers to decorate, but really what I mean to use it for is sometimes I'm out and about and I want something sticky like to keep as ephemera for my journal, so I can actually stick it on these types of papers to keep for journaling later. So I think it's good to save those sticker sheets like the back and use it as paper in your planners. Then I have a bunch of little clear pockets where I put some stickies because these little yellow dots I was using for my calendar. These are mini calendars that were actually cut out from another experiment that I wasn't using, so I just put them here. But definitely these clear transparent pockets can be used for like card storage as well, or like reward cards or something like that. So I just stuck that in here in the front of my mini agenda as well. One thing I have already noticed is that these pockets for the cards, they're pretty tight. I do have 2 in one of them, but the very back one is just 1 credit card. And I find that when I'm out, it can sometimes be a little hard to stick them back in. So that's not ideal when it comes to an everyday carry. But in this mini planner, I basically used the Filofax like opening page and just sort of semi-decorated it. Even though this is meant to be more as a functional thing and not like decorative, I still wanted to create a little bit of stuff. So I have the yearly calendar that came with the planner, and this mini, it came with 2023. It was on sale. So obviously I don't have the actual current up-to-date planner pages, but I don't really need it because I'm making my own. So I have like daily lists, weekly lists, quarterly, yearly checklists. I did try to create like a yearly calendar, but I guess I've never tried before printing something really small. You know, when you want to print really small text, I don't think my printer can handle it because it's just a regular, home office printer. Yeah, and when you get really small, it's like you don't have enough resolution, so it looks a little blurry. So I don't really like that. But I just cut out laminated decorative papers to use as dividers, but I don't have the tabs because there isn't really space. As you can see, if you use the pen loop, you're not really going to have space for tabs. It'll definitely like smush up against your pen. So I'm just using a thicker sheet as a divider, like a laminated sheet, so you can sort of feel it when you thumb through with your fingers, but there isn't an actual tab. But I don't have that many things in this planner, so I think it's going to be okay. So what I ended up using is creating this monthly calendar that is pretty much inspired from the Plotter monthly calendar. I tried using other ones that exist out there. This is like Peanuts Planner Co., but it was a little messed up anyways because it's not meant for mini planner size, and I tried to size it down and it just went crazy and like it didn't work out perfectly. But I just noticed that 4 boxes across one mini page is just really, really, really tiny. So using the Plotter agenda type of calendar, which I don't have access to buy, but like the same style basically. They stack Saturday and Sunday, like the weekend basically, on the same column. So I tried using other ones. I even tried using like linear type of monthly calendar, sort of like bullet journal style, but it just doesn't jive with my brain. Like I want to see the monthly calendar boxes. And so it even like trying to shade in the weekends or something like that, the linear just like boggles my brain. Like it just doesn't work for me in terms of wanting to see a monthly overview. And then I did try like a tiny calendar. That's why I had those stickers and list out the events as needed, because I don't necessarily have that many events like every single day, but I don't like it when they're out of order. You know, like when you make appointments, you might make an appointment for like the end of the month, then you have one earlier in the month, and if you write it down in a linear fashion, because you don't know how many lines you're going to be using, it's just, it having to like reference and all that kind of stuff, I just don't like it. I just want the traditional, monthly calendar. And then I also created myself, what I realized would be good with the linear calendar is checking things off. So I have a daily habit or daily social media habit or something like that that I need to do daily or almost daily. That sort of works out nicely in the linear calendar format. I could create a whole grid where I can check a whole bunch of things off, like habit tracking, or I can just have one line for the linear calendar if I actually need to like note what I did, if that makes sense. Like if you have a daily habit, or some people do, like, say you want to track your daily mood. I don't really need to see that in a calendar format like events, so that would actually be something that could be tracked in that way. So I did try basically a whole bunch of different monthly calendar options and what type of layouts would be good for certain types of tracking or information keeping. And it's obviously going to be different for every single person because we are all tracking different things and we all like to see different types of information, I think, in different formats, if that makes sense. For example, a lot of people do love like the pixel habit tracking, and I understand the point of habit tracking, but I don't think I could do that for like 20 things, the way some people have it, like a huge grid. Seeing that much also boggles my mind. So again, I did use them to keep track of some of my goals, to sort of like do one thing a day, at least one thing a day, to like push forward your goals kind of habit. But yeah, that's basically where I am right now in exploring like a monthly calendar, tracking daily tasks. And I still had some printouts from like old experiments, so I just kept them in there for like monthly tracking. Even though the mini sized paper is so small, surprisingly, there is a good amount of information you can track. It just depends on what type of information, and what works for you personally. So I have my like routine like checklists, I have my monthly calendar, and then I have just checklists of tasks that need to be done, and usually they're on a monthly basis because most of the things that I need to do are like on a monthly basis, so I just need to check that off. And at the end I have the outdated inserts that came with this planner. I put them upside down because they're just like scratch notes or whatever I might need, if I need like paper while I'm using this. So it is working as an EDC. It's just does take like a bit of getting used to in terms of finding inserts that will actually work in such a small size, and then figuring out if it does work like smoothly as a wallet. I can't really find a good pen. My pen is huge. This is just the Muji gel pen. I don't know. That will definitely take more experimentation if there's like a mini pen, but something that I actually like to write with, because I like gel pens. I just like the solid line. But you can see the Filofax Mini, it is very small. Like I have an iPhone SE, so like pretty small. Everything is pretty compact in terms of carrying it around, or shoving it, in a purse. So I'm happy that this is working out, but there are like a couple pain points. So I'm probably going to switch out of this and try some other options that I have to see which one would actually work the best, like in the long term. I think that there's always like something, like one little thing that isn't perfect, and so you sort of have to like try different things and figure out like what is the ideal for you. And I suppose maybe that's why some people do get like a custom made sort of like planner or setup, because once you go through a bunch of experimentations, you will probably have a better idea of like exactly the little details and things that you want, whether it comes to the actual inserts, as well as like the pockets and the pen loop and, you know, wallet type compartments. For example, here in Europe, we use a lot of coins, so it actually is important to have like a zip pocket for your, you know, wallet, unless you just have a separate coin purse. You know what I mean? Yeah, so this is my Filofax Finsbury Mini in slate gray. And by the way, I thought this was much darker, but it is not. It is like pretty light, almost bluish gray in color. And I should have known that, but the pictures were, I don't know, just deceiving. I think it's because many years ago, Filofax might have had this same model in a much darker gray. And in my mind, for some reason, I thought it was going to be that, but it's not. It's this. So it's sort of in the middle for me. Like, I don't mind it, but at the same time, I would like it if it was darker gray. I don't know if it'll change over time, because does this type of leather change over time? I'm not really sure. I don't really have a lot of experience. But the Finsbury, it's definitely not floppy. It's more like rigid. So it definitely like keeps its shape kind of thing. But the rings are perfectly fine. I don't have any issues in terms of like when I received it, and everything was, you know, working perfectly and fine. But you are limited in space, so you have to be quite specific with like how many inserts, pages, what you want to include, because it does fill up pretty fast. And I have found that I'm okay with writing in this, even though it's so small, because probably because I'm not doing long form writing or a lot of writing. It's just noting an appointment or a note or something, or scribbling something that I don't want to forget, and checking things off basically. My idea is to use this not only as my wallet everyday carry, but it has like those main things, like my 3 main goals for the quarter and the main task that I have to do, and just sort of like keep all of that front and center in my mind if this is a thing that I look at and use obviously daily and multiple times daily. So that is what I'm using at the moment, and when I switch, I will definitely update you and let you know my thoughts after using this for a longer time and seeing how it works out, and maybe what the pain points might be, so that why I might search for something different, or try basically something different instead of continuing to use this. I'm fairly happy with it, but there definitely are some pain points. So I'm wondering if those can be relieved if I do try something else. Yeah, so that's my Filofax Finsbury Mini. I want to show you just a couple more shots so you can see the coloring. It's definitely pretty light and more on the blue or cool side of gray, especially when you have like proper lighting on it. And you know, it's pretty classic in terms of the setup of how a Finsbury is made with the 5 rings, but it does accommodate so many things, because it has like the wallet in the back for your money, left side for the cards, and zip pocket for coins, and then, you know, obviously the rings for whatever inserts you might be using. So I'm not using any pre-printed inserts, and certainly you can just make your own. So that's it for my mini EDC. I hope you enjoyed taking a peek, and if you didn't already know, I am a graphic designer. I do have a community on Ko-fi that I am starting up. You can check out the link in the description to find out more, but basically if you join as a member to support me, you get all the digital printables I post on my Ko-fi feed to download, for art, from like art prints to digital papers that you can use in journaling and paper crafting. Of course, you can also buy designs directly in my shop on Ko-fi as well. So go ahead and go to my Ko-fi feed and click the shop link if you want to take a peek. I also have a blog with totally free printables at tortajala.com. You can go there and download pattern papers to try out for your next journal pages and collages. Thanks so much for your support here, and until next time, bye.